today what I want to do is something what we'll be doing in Australia. So for the next few days, it will be only of what we'll be doing in Australia. So that might help others who are joining there. And also, if you're not joining, at least on the video, you can continue doing. So today we are going to go through something which is pretty interesting and about Kaya, taking from Kaya Gati Sutta, and we'll be working out on Mahasati Patthana also through Anapanasati Sutta. So for doing that, there are certain things we need to understand what Buddha is saying about a state which we should all be in some way or the other. Meaning, by now, um, we should have at least 10 hours or more of breath watching. Okay. Now, why that is very important is because it's something like someone asking, do you breathe? And if we don't know we are breathing, then something is wrong. So the mindfulness means that you're aware what is happening. To be aware of what's happening, you require something as an anchor. And the breath is the best anchor. Okay, we might be used to body sensation and all that, it is fine. But we need to first have a complete grasp of the breath. So the Chuladasa mind illuminated, whatever you are working, will continue to work when you are there in retreat. So it's very important that you continue doing it and then ensure that you have good amount of hours which you have logged in, rather than just trying to struggle. Assuming that you are doing that, then we go into vipassana, not of sensation kind, but what Buddha talks about. So if you look at the vipassana portion of what Buddha says, the first one is the khandhas. That means divide the person in 5 parts and see where the person is. We come to personality. But the person is nothing but a personality. And that I and Eru have worked a lot on Enneagram when we were doing it. That's the exact personality what we are talking about. So the Kaya in the context is not just the body. The Kaya is inclusive of the physical and mental. Okay, so let's be clear that what we will be addressing and what we'll try to know. So supposing I'm so and so mentality in this body, in this physical body, that mentality is showcased. Okay, so let's say I am stingy. So the mind is stingy in this body. So when I say somebody is stingy, we're not naming the body stingy. Body has got nothing to do with stinginess. The mind is stingy. In the same way, if somebody is very generous, the body has got nothing to do with being generous. Mind is generous. Then we term that person, that personality is stingy personality, a stingy person. And we name the other person as generous person. But do remember, you can change the person's perception to make him generous from being stingy, right? In the same way, if someone is not able to watch the breath, you can change his perception to start watching the breath. So now the personality is changed from one type, whatever that type was, to another type. That entire transformation is Kaya Gata Sati. How the Kaya has moved from one to another. Okay. Kaya is not just the physical body at all. And in Buddha Dhamma, there is nothing called as just physical, and there is nothing called as just mental. So again, in the two extreme cases, as every time, we take mental as one separate construct and physical as another construct. Then what I do is I will stand at either side. That means everything is mental or everything is physical. If I follow the Goenkaji technique, everything is physical. That means anything that is happening on the on the mind is in the body. That's one extreme view. Another extreme view is everything is mind. Like in the Yogachara system, they believe everything is vijnana, consciousness. Everything is consciousness. And Buddha rejects both of them. So when you are doing what we are doing, we are doing as per what Buddha is saying, not as per what some tradition says or what some teachers say or whatever that is. That's the reason Kalama Sutta is very important, where Buddha explains, don't go by tradition, don't go by teachers' opinion. It's their opinion. Just don't get caught up in that. You appreciate, yes, maybe what you're saying is fine. You investigate, don't accept, don't reject, investigate. If it is true, incorporate. If it is not true, just throw it out. Not no makes no sense. No matter how much it is saleable, how much you feel compelled, it's not true. Why? If you look at Enneagram, you look at any other um, the personality tools we have today, what are you trying to do? You're trying to understand the mentality. Simple. So when a person comes to the office, or a person is at home, a person on the street, when he speaks his mind out. Anyone, from a random person to the person whom you know, from a person who is your parent or your spouse, or children, or whatever it is, they speak their mind out. They have got nothing to do with the body. But when we see the body and the mind. We don't see only the body and we don't see only the mind. We see a combination of body and mind. Why? Because the reactions which are coming are both, meaning there is three sankharas. One is the kaya sankhara, the body um, formations or choices or volitions. And then there is vachi sankhara. When mind is having pictures, it has to be translated to some words or something of a language. That is when the vachi comes into existence. So, whatever I'm seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, and thinking has to be thought about, made it into a verb and a sentence and a noun to explain what I am feeling. That's the mind. The mano sankhara or chitta sankhara is the feeling and perception. It's there in the sutta. So I'm going by what Buddha is saying. I'm not going by what tradition says, what opinion says, or whoever says. Because we need to stand to what Buddha says and what Dhamma says rather than what a person says. It doesn't matter whether I believe in this tradition or I don't believe in that tradition. Tradition itself is a problem. When you have a tradition, you guard it, you fence it, and you say that only those people who are in this tradition and this mentality can fit into it, which becomes a personality by itself. What are we trying to do in the Buddha Dhamma is to come out of personality views, any kind of personality views. That this alone is the fact and everything else is not. And Buddha talks about that in many suttas. This alone is right and nothing else, which is actually wrong. Okay, so there are various suttas to give that clarity. Okay. Moghamanyam, he says that. Moghamanyam means everything is idiotic. Every other is idiotic. No. Idameva satcham, moghamanyam. So that is delusion. Moga means delusion. So everything else is delusional. Only what I see is true. Now, why am I bringing this? Two great reasons. One, we'll be doing this in Australia or in Nagpur whenever we meet. Two is that we need to have a clarity of what the sutta says, not what I say. I have got no say. I'm not saying anything. It's for you to look at it and experience it. And you will know it. Once you experience it, you gain. You'll understand what it is. So kaya is both the physical form and the mental. The objective of Kayagata Sati is to transcend the mind which is held on to this body as though it is going to last forever and have a personality that I am so and so personality and move from that to the non-domain of the Mara, which is the four jhanas. So what we will be accomplishing either in Australia or in Nagpur or wherever it is to have stability or a home in the four jhanas. So today we are on 17th of November. So I have 12 more days to leave this place. So before that, I would be covering all of these aspects. When I go there, I don't have to ask those people who are joining there to restart. I don't want to explain anything. We are starting on 30th. So there's no further explanation or time pass over there that, okay, we'll do this, we'll do that. No, you're on the job. So any questions that comes up should be handled here and now within the next 12 days. And only working will happen there. And same thing I'm doing with the Nagpur thing. We'll do everything what we are doing here. There it is only working. No questions, no discussions, nothing. So between now and let's say you're coming on 30th of December, you have more than 40 plus days. So all the questions you have or anybody has there should get solved within your arrival, maximum of them, so that we get good amount of time to work there. That means our discussions are going to be bare minimum. But we are going to have an assembly. So we'll assemble every few hours just to check how things are happening. Nothing beyond that. Same thing we'll be doing in Nagpur. We'll meet 4-5 times in a day, and that's it. So, like what I had done in the previous Nagpur, is we had sitting in the Dhamma hall and Nothing of that is going to be done. You can go wherever you want. You want to work out, you work out. You don't want to work out, don't work out. There would be no policeman coming behind you and asking, oh, how it is, what it is. You sit here, you take a cushion, you sit straight. Nothing. Absolutely not. It's our own ownership. Each person has to take their own ownership. Because a Kaigata Sati has to be developed by each one individually. So I have to know my personality. I have to let go of my personality. I have to understand the limitation of personality so that I know I've reached Sotapanna. What's a Sotapanna is basically you don't have personality. There's no personality view. And what's a Sakadagami is that you don't have worldly conventions. And what's a Anagami is that you no longer fit in a womb. And a Arhat is you come out of complete delusion. You're cleared. So the consciousness now doesn't get established anywhere. So let me cover this up before we go deeper into this. First Sotapanna is that there's a personality, there's a person, and hence there's a personality. The person can be anything, and hence the personality. So we have a good personality or a good person, we have a bad person, we have ugly person, we have this person, that person, including country and this and that. All of them taken together is a personality. Also, personality as a father, personality as a son, personality as so and so. There can be 100 different personality which gets created because of the roles. I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. So the basic aim is to cut that into 5 parts. Is this Rupa? If yes, what Rupa are you finding? Other than this physical form, is there any other Rupa? Yes, there is. What is that? There is Rupati iti Rupa, afflicted. It's not just Patvi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo, which we are seeing. We are seeing an affliction. So in Kajjaniya Sutta, Buddha explains beautifully how you should watch the body and the feelings and the perception like that. So let's understand very well. Kajji means to scratch, to itch. So we feel itchy of everything. As a father, I feel itchy. As a son, I feel itchy. As a daughter, I feel itchy. As a wife, I feel itchy. As a husband, I feel itchy. All these are itchiness. Of this one has a typical character of irritation. Physically speaking, there's hunger, thirst, mosquito bite, snakes, sun, which is heat, cold, etc. That's itchiness. Actually, that's an irritation. So, body, as we see, is an irritation. It's an irritant. Why? People will comment. Simple. If you're fair, you get a comment. If you're dark, you get a comment. If you're tall, you get a comment. If you're short, you get a comment. If you have fat, get a comment. If you're lean, you get a comment. Because you are that body. And hence, there's an itch. Right? Now, based upon that itch, now is do this. And first time being, the itch is gone. So I feel pleasant. So every pleasant feeling is an itch. That means when I itch it, I feel pleasant. Ah, it's gone. But then after some time, the itch comes back. So it's itchy. Then it has painful feeling. No matter how much I'm rubbing, not going. And as I scratch it, nothing is happening else. It's neutral. And then the perception. There he talks about red, yellow, blue, and white. That means what you identify. And the interesting portion which we covered few weeks ago is on Abhisankata Vinyana. It's preconditioned consciousness. So then I say I'm Vilas. That's what it is. So this story in this life is this personality called as Vilas. From the time of birth to now. The story, what you're seeing, the movie which is aired on your TV or your screen is of a person called Vilas, which is a itch. Some people will find it pleasant. Some people will find it unpleasant. And some people will find it neutral. Just like I was wearing the glass on the other day, that Ray-Ban Meta, what Arius student is saying is an itch. She's feeling picky. Why? Because she's an itch. She's asking, how can your teacher use all of these? Isn't that Kamachanda? Very good question. Why? There's each. Because that Rupa, in her viewpoint, that teacher shouldn't be wearing any one of these or having any one of these as possession. And that is itchy. So what she does, he wants it to be removed. Then her itch is gone. Right? Whereas for Madhulika and Niket, if I don't wear it, might be itchy. So I have to wear or I shouldn't wear. Both have itchy. I mean, they didn't buy because they have itch. I'm just saying. Let's say. Now, why do we react? Because it's itchy. That sutta is so deep, actually. This personality with whom we are interacting shouldn't have a personality at all. So if you were to ask me, are you a Sotapanna? Then the counter question would be, what do you think is my personality? If you say, or if you experience no personality, definitely yes. If I have a personality, then there's a problem. Because I have a personality view. So the easy way to cut the personality is to make it into 5 parts. Dissect. Like a good chemist or a biologist who takes the knife and cuts and sees what is inside. Or like an engineer, he cuts and opens the equipment to see what is there. Then we see different parts. Each part makes the whole, but that part by itself is no whole. It's a part. But that part is key to that. to that equipment to work, but by itself cannot work. So then we can see all parts coming together is what is a person. This is an interesting thing because I was thinking all along that I am this. Now I see I've got nothing to do with this or that. It's just a collection of parts. So there are certain parts which are not good in my personality, in this makeup. Can I drop those? Absolutely. There's certain things which I have not developed. Can I develop that personality? Absolutely. Let's take an example. Let's say weird things. I will say I'm a party goer and a womanizer. That's a personality, what I've taken. Another person will say I'm a foodie. That's a personality. And I would see many people saying that I'm a foodie and they feel proud about it. Right? And that's a personality. Then we can have another personality, like I'm a bike rider. I love driving. I love to go on long rides. I'm a trekker, personality. I meditate, still a personality. Okay, I'm Goenka fan, personality. I love playing cricket, personality. I don't like cricket, personality. I love going to places, personality. I don't like going to any place, personality. So this I am, which is noun, doing an action creates a personality. Got it. This whatever I am with that personality. So now I get to see that I have an interest of so and so, and hence there is an enjoyment or there is suffering. When I divide it by 5 parts, as Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana, the personality view goes away. Because it was just a created one, a fabricated one, or a makeshift kind of thing. So it goes away. Like somebody asking, are you an American? That's the personality. What he's asking you is, do you feel like an American? And I would say yes. But if somebody asks me, Vilas, are you an Australian? I might not agree with him because I've not traveled so much to Australia. But let's say I keep on continuously traveling to Australia and then I surpass my American visits. And then what happens? I start feeling like an Australian. Instead of calling Australia, I will now change that accent, Australia. And what's the difference between Australia and Australia? And that's how the Australians say Australia. But then I get a PR in Australia. Australia. Okay. Now what happens? I start feeling I'm an Australian. So I learn Australian and then I take a class, a course to get into Australia and then drive like an Australian, act like an Australian, and then eat like an Australian and everything like an Australian. And then I have passport of an Australian. So my personality now is Australian. So when I now come to India, I'm an Indian born confused Australian. I don't know where I belong now. I start to say Melbourne is a good city, and Sydney is that city, and Brisbane is this city, and great. Okay. Yes, Sarchana. Want to say something? Okay. So basically, that's a personality. So Kaya in Kayagata Sati is the whole thing. It's the person and the body. So what we'll be doing in Australia, in Brisbane, is to cut the nexus between the mental and the physical and get out of the physical to transcend into the four jhanas. That's the basic thing. So in the next few weeks to come, if Bobby and Janak and all these guys are going to join me from 30th onwards, they are also expected to do this to as much as they can. They may or they may not. The objective is to do this. And then we come to the next step of finding out what works for us in Kayagata Sati Sutta. If Kamachanda, then we have to go to 9 charnel ground meditation. Okay, that means I'm not in a position to see in 5 aggregates, not my piece of cake or whatever pastry or whatever that is. So what should I do? That's not yours. Come down, look at the body, split it into different varieties, including animals eating the human. Ah, I'm not seen like that. Yeah, go to sky burials in Tibet and do it. And my past life being a Tibetan, I know how it works. If you want more information, I can give you how I could cut the body and throw it to vultures. Okay. So basically, you need to see your own body and the other person's body like that. This body will be thrown to vultures one day, and that day can be today if the consciousness departs. So that's the first practice. If that doesn't work, then there's no answer to it because it's so deep that just enjoy your life. If you are able to break that maze, then you go to the next step of getting into jhana. You don't have to do all that what he's saying there in the Kayagata Sati Sutta, where you go to the 4 dhatus and all of that. Not required. Because you already broke that mirage nature of the perception. And also you looked at the consciousness which makes like a magician. So you caught the magic. So the magician is no longer can perform the magic because you understood the magic. You've seen the magic. So there's no magic there. There's nothing magical about it. It was looking magical because suddenly you see a wife, or you see a beautiful woman on the street, or you see a handsome man on the street, or a nice car, luxury car, or luxury something, just which made me enamored with that. Let's say I go to the Gold Coast or Sunshine Coast and I see bikini clad women or whatever. But then I feel, wow, wow, he's so happy, as I've never seen any woman in my life. And that experience is magical, even though it is flesh, just the flesh. It looks magical. That's a magic. A trash looks such an interesting piece. Or a feces which looks golden because of the sun shining on that, and maybe some shine, and I see something out there. Actually, on this, there is one sutta itself. So here is the story. One day, one person is walking on that time the road, whatever road it is. He's going from Savatti, okay, to Jetavana. He's also in Savatti. Let's say, take that. He happens to trip and fall down, and he sees a stone and is very worked up on the stone because he's going to Jetavana maybe to meet someone. Maybe it can be Buddha or his followers or whatever it is. And then after some time, he gets another stone. This time, he trips and falls, but he keeps it with himself. He doesn't complain because the first stone, first pebble, or whatever he tripped was a stone which hit him pretty hard, but it had no value. The second one also was a stone, but it's a valuable stone, a gem. And then he goes and meets Sariputta. And then what should happen? He has to give up both. That stone which hit him on this knee and made him bleed, and the other one which did the same thing, he kept it. Because there is a value in his mind, he held it. In the same way, when I go to Sunshine Coast or some other coast, if I see a bikini clad woman standing there, it's valuable. In my mind, need not be valuable to anyone else. But the very fact I'm going there desperately wanting to see means that it's valuable. You will do something which is valuable. You will not do something which is non valuable. And this kaya is valuable as well as invaluable. There's no value. It depends upon how the mind perceives it. It can become valuable to someone who is in a, let's say, entertainment industry. The most valuable item is his body. And then he or she has to keep on maintaining it. And may not be valuable for somebody else. Let's say somebody is in nutrition. For him, that is valuable. So he will maintain his diet and this one, exercise regimen, and so focused, ensuring that the beats per minute doesn't go beyond 45, 50, all the time, athletic heart. So she's proud, she's a proud possession of his. And that's the personality. The basic idea is to break the personality completely. So if I am able to do this, it means if I'm having this and then I break down into 32 parts or whatever part of the body, or the going to the channel ground meditation type, then it breaks. moment it breaks, mind will then transcend to the jhanas. So the objective of what we are going to do there from 30th of November to 30th of December to attain 9 jhanas, not 8, complete 9 every given day. Whether somebody can do it, cannot do it, immaterial. So we are going to come to Kaya Sakhi. Yep. That's meant for Anagamis. Whether Bobby is an Anagami or not, Janak is Anagami or not, or somebody coming there casually is Anagami or not, is not our botheration. Or they should become that is also not our botheration. We'll be doing what we are doing, they can participate. And I'll teach them how to do it. And that's their problem, how to do it. Okay. So we'll have 5 or 6 meeting points every day, half an hour or more. And that's it. Starts on 30th, ends on 30th, 1 full month. So 9 jhanas is what we are going to not attempt. We'll be doing every day. No less, no more. So what we are going to do when you are there, Ariyu, is one thing I've asked Cheniel to think it over after how it works with Janak and Bobby and others. So we will do a guinea pig experiment with these Australians, and then we'll see that they become Australians or Australians. Then we will take a call on when you come there and Anusha and others comes there, what should be our 10-day retreat. Okay. That's the walkthrough. So the Kaya, what we are going to do in Kayagata Sati will be moved into Anapanasati by the mid of December. Then complete the Mahasati Patthana by the mid to end of December. So that if we finish, at least I finish the journey completely, or Shinil can get end of the tunnel, whichever way it goes between me and him, and others might have got to some elevated level themselves. To see, the Sotapanna is a person who lets go of personality. Sakadagami is a person who lets go of the 8 worldly way of looking at things. Anagami is a person, like I was talking the other day to the Hindi crowd, that every woman is just a womb. And that means I have so many mothers. So if I have so many mothers, there's no need to again enter as a child, because the requirement of mother is already taken care. So then there's no womb. There's only tomb now. There's no womb. That means there's no rejoining stage back. That means the consciousness reconnecting itself. So at this point in time, let's see how Shaniel has performed in these months, and then what else he requires, and then what I can do. And Arhat, I don't know. At present, it is completely stilled out. So I will have to see different ways in the suttas to see have I reached the end. So from June till date, it's stilled out. And then there's nothing which is happening. That means of those 6 things what I had found is also done. So I don't know what else have to be done to be called as done. I'm figuring it out. If I could figure it out, then I will tell you that, okay, that's it. over, game over. Now it doesn't matter whether somebody agrees, disagrees, agree to disagree, disagree to agree, or any other combinations. It's fine. But that's all what it would be. So at least it gives me an what I can say step by step uh, thing, because the shunyata what I had is continued. That was the only missing thing in my experience. Now it's been 10 days now. Nothing other than the stillness, and this is also there. I don't know what to say next. So let's see. That's a walkthrough. Okay, what we would be doing. So the objective here, 9 jhanas, not 4, 9. Then stay in 4 all the time. That means the landing ground is not Kamaloka. The landing ground is Arupa. Okay. So from that we going to operate. It's not about how many cushions I need to have when I sit there. I don't require any cushions or anything to say that, oh, he should be sitting on an elevated ground. No ground. I was telling Shane, process 14 people, he was saying we have to scramble in the rooms and sleep. I said, yeah, I'm fine with it. We can sleep wherever there is space, and there is a hot summer season in Spain. So no big deal. Can sleep wherever the space is. So Bobby, you don't have to make a place for me to sleep or anything. Just feel free. Wherever there's space, I'll go and dump this dress thing and go to sleep. So you don't have to prepare like what you prepared when I came down to your home. You made a place for me and you've taken care so much. You don't have to repeat that same experiment again. It's fine. I've told Chenial also, no special thing, no special making or anything. Things special. Problem is when we make things special. That's where the problem is. No one is special. The same can't be special. Special thing has to be in the mind, not physical. We want to respect each other, it's the best thing. But then shouldn't be some physical special, because it's not physical at all. You're creating a personality to that person, which makes no sense. I don't have personality, but that person who wanted to give personality will never be able to give a personality, because we keep on giving him one personality. We dump on personality. No, nothing to be done. In fact, he has to deprive himself in the mind, even though there is everything. I mean, don't get attached. Simple as that. Use it for what it is there for. A bed is there to sleep. Doesn't matter. A towel is there to wash your skin. Yeah. If you have sunscreen, it's required to put it so that the UV rays don't get in there and cause allergies or discomfort, or at some cases cancer. Just do that. A warm clothing is there to keep yourself warm. You can remove your shirt if it is pretty hot. That's just like going to toilet. You don't have anything special to be. Yeah, you need to have a commode or something to put that thing. So you require all paraphernalia for that, like flush and paper and all that. Other than that, I don't think so there's anything worth notifying. If we take everything like what we do in the washroom, there's no ego. at all. They all are doing exactly the same thing. There's nothing different. So we shouldn't be doing anything special. No special eating, no special food, no special stay, nothing like that. Just normal. And the more normal, the better it is. Calm. There's nothing to expect. Expectation causes a lot of issues. They don't have expectation, anything whatsoever. You've given up everything. Suffering is gone. Because what is raga, dvesha, moha is nothing but expecting something is the moha. I expect something. When I enter into Shenial's home, I expect something to be there. And that is the cause of restlessness in the first place, because that's something. Or what is that something? I don't know. And then Bobby, you're there all the time to serve me. You said you want to serve me and or Shenial, and then your mind is totally occupied in that. No. Your mind should be occupied only on jhana, not on how you want to serve me or Shenial. Just throw the crap out. At least you want to serve Shenial, I'm okay with it, but don't focus in serving me. Just leave it. Just be on jhana. That's what you need to gain. Forget all of this. They will take care of themselves. But if you want, you feel, no, Vilasji, I want to take care of Shenial at least, feel free. I have no problem. I'm not going to come and tell you that you shouldn't be doing that. But don't waste your time in serving me. Instead, serve yourself with Dhamma. The best thing. So let's say you do that, and then we can continue. So if you're able to let go of the 8 worldly things, you'll come to know by yourself that there is no profit and loss at all. So by meeting me, there's nothing profitable. By not meeting me, there's nothing lost. To that extent, you'll go. Then there's no sukha and dukkha. There's no pleasant and unpleasant. That being not there, you yourself will know that you've reached Sakadaga. Nobody needs to certify it for you. Then let's hope that whatever we are doing and you're able to do it, you get into Nirodha Samapatti. Welcome to the club. What do you think, Bobby? I see no expression, so it is good. Your progress seems to be far better than what I thought. Bobby, you want to say something or shall I allow him to talk? Yeah, Madhukar, go ahead.
I think he can do it.
Yeah, Madhukar.
Yeah, yeah, it's a homeless club.
Yes, as it is, I'm homeless. So we will go to a place which
Homeless
is
club.
no. We are going to a place which will
Homeless,
be
homeless club. Like
no. Wait, we are already homeless. We are going to a hopeless club. There's nothing to hope for. It's homeless, hopeless club. If there is hope, then there is something.
then there's a homeless.
You're homeless and you're hopeless also. There's no ray of hope.
Because hope will also give us some sort of attachment, attraction, inclination.
Exactly. I hope. I hope. No, I hope. Nothing to hope. No hoping. I do hope after meeting Bobby or after meeting Shaniel, I'll be so and so. No hope. Yeah, Bobby, you wanted to say something? No? All happy?
Yeah, all good with us. Thank you.
Good. Okay. So don't do anything special. I'm telling you, don't do anything special. No
No,
special.
I will not do. I will concentrate on practice.
Yes. No special, no making food for me and serving and all that. Nothing. We'll all do it together. We'll cut the vegetable together, we'll cook together, we'll eat together, we'll do everything together. No distinguishing between this person, that person, and this and that, nothing. It's same. Nothing to change. So you don't have to make a bed for me and all of that. I can make it for you. I have no problem. So you make it for me, I'll do it for you. It's like that. Okay. Why? Because we shouldn't have anything to say. I am different, that is different. Not different. It's the same. Like there's no man and a woman, there's no person. It's the same. So when you don't have that distinguishment, you're at peace. So when I create two parts, I'm here, I need here. So that is the near shore and far shore which I was explaining to you. There is always something missing. That means I'm here, I need to be there. But when I'm here, I need to be there. So this keeps on going from one to another. When I'm not missing anything at all, there's no near shore and far shore. There's no shore. And that's the end of suffering. So at present, Bobby, I have no suffering. I can't see you suffer for me. I will make sure that you're not in any hardship, suffer. And you can do that with Dhammagiri people, which you love doing it, or another monastery. You can do it. I'm not going to come in that way. But as far as I'm concerned, do everything together, same, change. That gives me an opportunity to serve you also. What do you think?
No, I understand what you are saying. I think it is you are saying to cut this personality view, but then um, when I serve anybody, or for that matter, I have that wholesome wish that my Dhamma grows for everyone.
Correct.
So there is, I don't think it is just for that person. I try to reflect that many people get benefit.
That you can still keep it. You should do it. Don't serve a person, serve the Dhamma. Absolutely fair. Most noble.
Yeah, because even in the like suttas, when Buddha says gradually serving all these people who have reached a higher course, in the last stages he says serving the entire sangha, or even practicing metta, practicing anicca is better than all these things. So I think that is what you're intending. We have to go beyond that personality view.
Exactly. And you in fact shared that sutta also.
Or the Velama Sutta.
Velama Sutta, it says after doing all of this, having anicca is the best of all.
Yeah. But I think we have to have this gradual practice also, right? So we can't ignore serving, but we have to develop that mind of not serving one person for some gain.
So we have to all serve each other, take care of each other.
But you don't have to serve me. But anyway,
Hey, no, I'm going to serve you. How can I live without you, Bobby?
Now we had some very good times, but
We will continue on our good times. So don't worry. We'll have a lot of good times. Seriously, I'm not joking. We'll have real good time. So thing is like this. Dhamma is literal friendship without any distinguishment. There's nothing to distinguish. It's just Dhamma. So when I'm with you, I'm you. If I were to join Madhulika and Niket, I'm them. If I'm with Aryu, I'm Aryu. If I'm with these Mrityunjay and Veena who come here, I'm exactly like them. I mimic exactly map what they are. It's just like a mirror reflecting whatever it is. So I don't have any personality of my own to claim I'm like this. So no ego. Like now Lata says you don't have the spiritual ego now, which I feel happy. At least she could see now. Okay, and not getting spiritual ego. Nice. You know so much or whatever it is. But otherwise on job I didn't have. If she's not here today, I would have asked her to speak. But on job, when I joined also, I never had an ego. And even I don't have on job. I can work with anyone and exactly mimic that person. I will be that person for that person. So he doesn't feel anything at all. It's just like he's speaking to himself. I'll make sure he is comfortable. Like Lata's colleagues are there. When I meet them, I understand in few minutes their personality. I'll mimic their personality itself. I'll speak exactly like what he's speaking. Word to word, sentences, how he expresses. So Lata has a problem. She says, why should you change? I just say, I want to make him comfortable. Simple. So when I'm there with you, Bobby, I'll become you. Sort of. You won't even notice it. And with her Marine, you would have noticed I'll exactly mimic what she wants. She's very happy, isn't it, or not?
Yes, definitely. But I think everybody has to reach that stage, to understand that. Because when you do that, your intention is to make them comfortable. But when the other person also develops in them, only will understand that.
Yes, but I can't do, I'm not doing by purpose. I just see that this poor guy, I should do something. So what to do? Make him comfortable. Otherwise, it becomes like this. I stay here, he stays here, and then how do we meet? He can't come up, but I can come down. If somebody is on the 8th floor, he can come down rather than asking this person who's on the ground to come on the 8th floor. Which is better? He coming down is easier than he coming up because he doesn't know how to go up. So it's better that this guy can come down and speak to him, make him comfortable. And each floor is one jhana. So it's better that I can come down and say, oh, and I can go back. But this guy will not. That's what I do in the office. I keep on changing this personality, that person, that person, that personality. In fact, I took a Enneagram class to all the people there, how to understand personality. It was good success, but then they didn't know how to use it. And in fact, Aryu has taken an exam also on Enneagram. I mean, he has taken there was one, he and I took one test, right, Aryu? We took that.
Yeah, we did that. We were reading some books and some audiobooks.
And we took a test, personality test. And one problem with Aryu is if he takes something like this, he'll go so deep. Then we have to pull him back. Hey, boss, it was just to understand this. Come on, come back. Otherwise, he starts getting into a complete Enneagram. So, and then he found another one. Then he and Chirag started looking at my personality, what fits in. So it was nice. It was, what was that logical?
No, that one just MBTI.
MBTI, right? Okay. Yeah, so what we need to understand is that when we say Kaya Gata Sati, it is about how this personality is changing from this, that. If you start letting go of it, you have achieved the highest. So the personality wave is gone, erased out. So the consciousness doesn't get a footing anywhere. Any questions? That's all I had on this one, and tomorrow we will go deeper into each. Shinil will not be joining this week. I told him no problem. Anyway, we are there in next 12 days' time. Let him finish his office load and then he will not be able to work on anything. Nothing to talk, nothing to ask. Great then. You have such a silence, noble silence is the best thing. No questions, anyone. Wow, beautiful. Harry, even you don't have. Good.
I think all the questions are settling. Maybe questions are settling.
Okay.
Lots of questions.
No problems. Good. Yeah, Harry, you wanted to say something.
I guess I was thinking this personality, each one of them holds one for themselves as how they see themselves to be. But that person will be seen as every other person by every other person as a different person. I'm just thinking
Exactly.
how that person.
Exactly. So we all see, that's a good point. We all see the other person taking on different personality. So when we like the personality, we get into raga. When we hate the personality, get into dvesha. And thinking that the personality is real, moha. But actually, nothing as a personality because there's nothing as a person either. And that's what anatta means. No person. But since the translation has become anatma, it poses its own challenges. Now the question comes, there should be an atma, for anatma should be there. That becomes soul and no soul. So then there is theory of soul and there's no theory of soul. So all of these things gets muddled up so much. But what Buddha is talking is there anything as a person which you can hold on to? The answer is no. Because that person keeps on changing. And the changing is due to situation. And the situations come due to condition. So when one condition, the situation is different. So the person's reaction to that situation is completely different than the other person. And that's when we see the personality of that individual. Because it's divided. That's why it's called individual. It's completely divided. Now you have a split between what you expect him to do or her to do versus what that person has done. If there is similarity, not the sameness, if it is similarity, you accept. So that becomes a norm. Like when there is a stop sign, you're supposed to stop. Right? And this personality called Vilas, when he lands in America or in Australia, then he doesn't stop. If I'm driving in Brisbane and Bobby sitting next to me, Vilas, you stop here. There's a board, stop. Vilas is not India. With that big board stop, you hit that board itself and go. Stop. And Vilas will say, sorry, Bobby, don't get worried. No, 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 you're supposed to stop. Okay, sorry. Next time, okay, Vilas, please take care. So again, I'm seeing a stop sign. And Bobby is looking at me whether it'll stop or not. And I stop with a jerk. He says, Vilasji, why are you giving this jerk? Stop. Just stop. And then after some time, I learn, try. So now I have disciplined. Okay? The personality is disciplined personality, capable of driving in Australia. So then that relieves Bobby from not reacting whenever he sees the stop sign. But when he comes to India, if Vilas stops at the stop sign, his car will never be found because 10 people would have gone on top of that car because they don't stop. You can stop. The objective of being in India is if the stop sign is for dogs and cats and cows and leopards and elephants and all these kinds, not for humans. So when we drive in India, you can drive wherever you want. Basically, the road is there to wherever you want, you can drive. And you can drive on the opposite side also. That means you have to be geared that you can drive in whichever fashion as long as you can drive. So when this Vilas comes back to India after 40 plus days in Australia, he has to become an Indian personality. And what's an Indian personality? No lane driving. You're in this lane, suddenly you go to that lane because it's empty. Now from that lane, you come to this lane. And you can keep on doing that as many number of times and nobody can say anything to anyone. And then a cow can come in between with its calf. And that farmer also comes along the middle of the road with his cow and calf and some 3 buffaloes and 4 sheep, 5 hens, all of that. And you have to be mindful that this will come. The stop signal is now changed by this all kind of domesticated animals coming on the road. So it's permanent stop till that animal goes. And some people will get down of their car and then they pray to that animal as God, right? So now that cow becomes a god and then they pray on the road and they take the urine, put on their head and do all kind of things and you watch in your car when will he finishes and then they finish. You can take your car. Because that's the personality of India. So if you understand this personality, you will not have problems. But Ariu, the first time you saw me, it was a rude shock for you, it was a cultural shock because I don't have lane nor traffic. I have only traffic, no lane. I mean, in fact, Niket and Madhulika from Bangalore, they have a house in Bangalore. You can ask them how much is the traffic in Bangalore. And they were staying in Bangalore. And Bobby also stayed in Bangalore. It's a chaotic city. You have to have a personality, but you don't have to showcase that personality. That's the only difference. So when I come back to India and to Bangalore, you have to drive like as though you don't have any, wisdom. And you have to honk. Yesterday, one guy, it's an empty road. Fortunately, we found one empty road near our place. He is honking like crazy. key, key. Now you have to, if it is any other country, like in the US, they would have taken a gun and they would have shot him. Because honking is a way of aggression. If somebody does a mistake, you honk. So that I'm frustrated with your driving. And that's the message. Here, honking means you're making sure that you are enjoying. You're putting music to the ears. You keep on honking. And I'm driving my scooter coming behind. It's empty road. No one is there. But he's so used to honking. He's continuously he's doing. Till I took a left turn near my home and he took a right. Fortunately, he took a right. Otherwise, it was so irritating. But you have to bear with it. And that's a personality. What's the kaya now? So the best is what? As per Enneagram, 0. That's what it says, right? 0. 1 to 9 is the personalities. No personality is 0. The best way to live. In fact, it says that also. So Greeks found this Enneagram something similar to what Buddha is saying. No personalities. Okay, good. Any other? All good? Should we end? Ready? Sure. Last time. So happy that today you don't have any questions. Maybe I made it so fine, or I made it so much above the head. I don't know which one. Okay, anyway, so let's go do the personality thing tomorrow. Chapter 1. Okay, bye. Good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Now,
Thank you, sir. Bye. Thank you, sir.